What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. What's up, fellas? This is Mike D. Hope you're having a good day. You know, today I'm going to introduce something that, from a strategy perspective, I think was genius. And it's something that's been applied across the board to add emphasis to a point. And I'm going to call it the MotherF strategy. I'm not going to fully say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. MotherF, right? Because dig this. Years ago, I believe it's in 94, 95, when the Fugees released the album The Score. To me, looking back on it, one of the most brilliant lines that came out of that whole album was a line by Lauryn Hill. She was spitting all this, this knowledge and wisdom in one of her verses. But at the very end of it, she said, I add a MotherF so you ignant brothers hear me. I add a MotherF so you ignant brothers hear me. You ever think about this? This is kind of telling my age, so to speak, but back in the day, I used to love to watch comedians, right? And, Def Comedy Jam was off the charts, right? Def Comedy Jam was on HBO. But then on BET, you had Comic View. One of the things that I would notice, and this is also one of the things when I got older and would see comedians live in concert, I kind of noticed this as well. The same comedian would perform on both Def Comedy Jam and they would perform on Comic View. The thing that was different was the fact that Def Comedy Jam was on HBO, Comic View was on BET. So BET had to abide by some different censorship rules. So the comedian couldn't really cuss. They couldn't use, MotherF, you know what I'm saying, in their comedy. Whereas on Def Comedy Jam, the gloves were off. They could say whatever they want. But one thing I noticed, and it was interesting, and comedians as well have been using this for years, they tell the same joke on multiple platforms, but those platforms that are uncensored, the joke would have a MotherF thrown in there, whereas those platforms that are censored, it would say something else. They would use another word in its place. For instance, you would hear, just a world stage, a world renowned comedian come up to the stage, and if they're on Def Comedy Jam, they'd start off, GD, y'all MF is looking good in here today. Y'all MF is this, y'all MF is that. They would use that to start off their comedy. They would start off their routine. Whereas you hear that same comedian on BET or on some special on regular television, they come out there, the same comedian in a very similar audience, but, it would go more so like, man, y'all looking good in here today, fellas. Ladies, fellas looking good, right? Fellas, them ladies looking good, right? Man, y'all looking good. Man, y'all looking good. Pretty much the same intro, but they don't have to add expletives. But like Lauryn Hill mentioned, over 20 years ago in her line from, the Fugees album, she said, I add a MotherF so you ignant brothers hear me. I want y'all to think about that, fellas. I want y'all to think about that. But I also want you to understand this. When there's something that I need to say, I might add a MotherF so that the ignorant brothers out there will take a listen to what I got going on. Because something about how we operate as brothers, sometimes we don't think it's funny unless somebody throws a MotherF onto the back end of it. That's what makes it funny in some of our eyes. But we have to understand that that's nothing more than, in the internet world, clickbait. Okay? Clickbait, for those that don't know, is like when somebody puts a shocking quote or like a shocking picture up just to get people to click on it. But then all of a sudden, you know, the link takes you to something that's totally unrelated. All it was doing was, I know that shocking picture or that shocking quote or that shocking, you know, revelation or whatever it is going to get you to click on it. So then I can get you to where I really want you. And so to that point, if you ever hear me or ever see the title, "This is a mother episode," that's what it's all about. That means I'm going to lay something out that we really need to listen to. And I want all of us to listen to. I want us to take it, think about it, but I want us to apply it. And I want us to share it out with our fellow fathers. All right. So today, for the first episode, or for the first installment of the Mother series of Black Fathers Now, I want to lay on y'all this. We can't punk out as fathers, man. We can't punk out as fathers. Not only is your life dependent upon it, but if you are a father, there are some little eyes looking up to you that are dependent on you not punking out. In a lot of cases, there's a spouse, there's a wife, or maybe a girlfriend, a fiance, whoever, that's also looking on you. You do not have the opportunity, nor do you have the option of punking out. Because your punk out impacts more than just you. Your punk out could impact generations to come. Your punk out could impact how your son treats his future wife. Your punk out could impact how your daughter looks for her future husband. Your punk out could damage the psyche of your wife, your girlfriend, your spouse. And your punk out is not allowed. Your punk out is not allowed. So you should not even give yourself the option to punk out. Black fathers now, from this moment forward, no punks allowed. And when I say no punks allowed, I ain't talking about orientation and all that stuff. So folks don't come at me with some homophobic this or that. I'm not talking about that. When I'm talking about punk, I'm talking about how you operate. No punks allowed. You can't be a punk and be a black father, especially now. And what we got to do as a community, fellas, is we got to have the balls to step up. And when we notice our homeboy being a punk, when you notice your homeboy punking out on his responsibilities, when you notice your homeboy or your cousin or your brother or your uncle or your father, when you notice somebody punking out, you might need to say, "Mother," just so they listen. Because remember, you add that so that the ignorant brothers hear you. But you might say, "Mother," you can't punk out, man. Iron sharpens iron. And regardless of whether we accept it or not, fellas, we are iron. So we have to sharpen each other's. When you think about it, that's why I bring on brothers who have unique experiences when it comes to fatherhood, who are going to bring wisdom, because black fathers now is the time. You don't live in a village. We're bringing the village to you. Now, what you going to do with it? But I'm going to tell you today is a rant. Today is a rant. All right. And you got to understand that today is a rant, but no punks allowed. Punking out is not an option. Don't give yourself that option. But if you want to build this village that we're talking about here, because it takes a village to raise a child, if you want to build this village we're talking about, we also have to have the balls to step up and not allow our boys, to not allow our homeboys, to not allow our family and friends to punk out either. Because it's going to take all of us to build. And I need you. You know, one of you brothers out there might be the father of my son's future wife. One of you brothers out there might be the father of my daughter's future husband. So selfishly, I'm relying on you to not punk out. I'm not going to punk out. If God gives me the strength and the breath in my body to move forward, I'm not punking out. So my challenge to you is you don't punk out either. And don't allow any brother that you touch, that you have connection with, that you have relationship with, to punk out. Now, granted, obviously, you can't control people's actions. But fellas, black fathers now is not the time to be no punk. All right? Well, yo, like I said, whenever you see this thing titled MotherF episode, it's simply that way so that the ignorant brothers tune in and listen. Now, I guess as always, y'all follow Black Fathers Now, all the social media platforms. Visit blackfathersnow.com. And, reach out to me. This is Mike D. And until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace. Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always, always, always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.